Wait, one more tangent.
Yeah.
We need to say something absurd to make a cold open out of.
Oh, we've said plenty already.
Well, yeah, but that's all going into the Flavor Jam commercial.
I've been watching a shit ton of Boardwalk Empire.
Okay. Oh yeah. Isn't Omar from The Wire in there?
Yeah, he is.
I've heard he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cold open.
There we go.
There's your cold opener right there. It's a completely unfunny cold opener.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel.
I am the walrus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends interrupt me from recasting the exact same Asian actors multiple times in a row, and instead force me to watch movies. This week we have with us Eric Largent.
Tally ho.
We have Chris Arsenault.
All dogs go to heaven.
Colin McMillan. And James Barup.
Hey, Bert, did you see a Hare Krishna midget up in the tree? Man, that must be Rod Sterling calling. Hey, Shrek!
So, The Golden Child, 1986. Yeah, it was. A fast-talking LA social worker goes through a series of traps and terrors to find a kidnapped Tibetan child with mystical powers. So, this was starring J.L. Reet, Eddie Murphy, Charles Dance, and was directed by Michael Ritchie.
Michael Ritchie, you're a bad man. You're a bad man, and you shouldn't ought to have done that.
Well, so Colin, you got some feels about this.
Yep, sure do. I mean, spoilers, I hated it. This was my first...
How is that a spoiler?
Sometimes we like to do a little build-up where it's like, oh, well, some things I noticed. Nope, just let it right out the gate. I fucking hated it. I hated it. This is a terrible movie, and it made me angry.
Spoiler alert, I woke up this morning.
I know, right? Like, yes. Other spoilers, sky is blue, grass is green.
Right.
The sky, that's the thing with the legs, right?
Yep.
Sure.
What? That's one of my jokes.
Very lot of things wrong with The Golden Child, including perhaps that it got made. So you open the movie with this scene in this temple, and you've got the kid. And I will say that the kid, the Golden Child himself, that kid is, like, really cute. He's a very cute kid.
Yep.
He's a girl.
And you've got this... Okay, that kid is really cute.
Yeah.
That kid, in whatever way he identifies... The child in question identifies...
In the movie, he's a he, but in real life, they cast a girl to play him.
So progressive.
Okay.
Really?
Unlike many other parts of this movie... You have this opening scene that seems very promising. You've got Charles Dance coming in, Tywin Lannister busts down the door and is all being the devil and shit.
Yeah, that was so exciting.
Jumping to the end, that final battle is rife. Like, there is no continuity. It was like, hey guys, we gotta finish this movie. I got dinner at 6. I gotta go. And they just threw it together. Just really terrible. The effects were weak. And a lot of the times, I'm okay with weak effects. I'm a fan of Back to the Future. I'm a fan of Ghostbusters, and the production team of Ghostbusters on the commentary will tell you they hate the effects in their own movie. They think they're cheesy and awful. But the effects in Ghostbusters are way better than the effects in The Golden Child.
Yes.
Saying
really
the effects
bad.
in this movie were weak is like saying that Glass Joe from Mike Tyson Punched Out was weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are like crepe paper cutout effects. Like, they're bad.
You didn't like the...
It's like drawing...
Like the whoosh sound effect when,
Oh, Jesus God.
goes...
this is like drawing in your energy effects with a marker on the film stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Really bad. I mean, really bad. And by 86, they had actually done this in several movies fairly successfully. Like, you could have special effects movies in 1986, and they were way better than this.
I don't know, man.
Ghostbusters, man.
I mean, okay. There are like a few shining examples, as in any era, of great effects. Like obviously in Ghostbusters, It is probably the best. Or no, The Thing.
Yeah.
The Thing.
Yeah.
The Thing is probably
Thing,
the
yep.
best
The Thing is
effects movie ever.
spectacular. Yeah,
I mean, of the
spectacular
era.
creature effects.
Of the era.
Especially since they're all practical effects.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
incredible. And when
What,
they, when
you
they
guys
shot the new,
think the Ewoks weren't believable?
I believed them.
Was that
Okay.
80?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
82.
that was 83.
That was 80. Yeah,
Oh,
82 or
okay.
83. Yeah.
When they shot the new Thing movie, they
Yeah.
originally did it all with practical effects, and the studio basically said, "No, we have to do CG."
Yeah.
And
What?
what a shame!
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
these
but
effects,
Here's the
were-
thing:
were not
practical
good.
effects done right
I-
can always look better than CG because CG
Yeah.
James,
always.
please stop interrupting Chris when he's interrupting me.
No, I just want to finish what I was saying there. There are obviously a few shining examples, but in the broad scheme of things, the effects in this movie, I don't feel were that bad. And let me just like 3 examples of things that I thought were not that bad was the initial scene where he's, talking to Goofy Satan, where Hell starts
Oh,
appearing
you mean
around
Dr.
him.
Claw?
Yeah, when he's talking
Yes.
to Dr. Claw.
Thank you.
And Hell appears around him. I actually thought that was done pretty damn well. The scene, the transformation from the rat scene and back to the rat wasn't that
was
bad,
Pretty awful.
Holy shit.
really.
I don't remember much of this movie.
And then,
I watched it less than 12 hours ago.
I mean, obviously, like, wow.
I watched
Now-
it about an hour ago.
there's-
Yeah,
so.
Then there's the one that Pepsi paid for, right? Is that the third one?
No, actually, that
yeah.
one was actually pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
The last,
Yeah.
the devil was not that bad. I mean, granted, it's really hard to do a fight scene between a live actor and a claymation model.
Yes.
Ray Harryhausen is the only person I've known who's actually managed to do it.
Well, he's the
And
guy.
He is
Like,
the guy. Yeah.
He is the stop
Sinbad,
animation guy.
Clash of the Titans,
Jason and the Arctic.
Jason
Stuff
and the
from like
Argonauts.
the
Yep.
60s.
Yeah,
He's the guy. But that
he
was
was the,
his,
yeah he
that
is
was
the
his
master.
thing, man.
Nobody has surpassed him in that area of melding live action and claymation. Yep. Sorry, Colin. Go on.
Thank you. Bad effects, though, I can handle. The thing that I can't really handle about The Golden Child is there's a couple aspects to a very, very big problem that I have with this movie. One of the aspects relates to a greater problem that I have with many movies from this era, where you slide a main character into a movie that essentially has no redeeming value. I like to cite, bear with me, So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is a little later than The Golden Child, but last time I watched it, I realized you never learn anything about Mike Myers in that movie. He has no features. There's nothing about him. He's just this clever dude that writes poetry. He has no job. Where does he live?
He's
what is
a
he?
family
What
man.
is he
visits
like?
his family. He has a younger brother.
From where? Where
From
does
Scotland.
he leave?
From Scotland.
But no, not where is it? Where does he live? Where does he depart from to go visit his
And
family?
he's got like
You have-
a
His
little
car.
what?
Well, he might as
convertible.
well live in his car. He might as well live in his car. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no information about this protagonist. You're just supposed to root for him for some reason, but he has literally no redeeming qualities because he has no qualities. So at the beginning of The Golden Child, you establish that Eddie Murphy is a social worker who really, 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 really cares about children. And he goes and saves children. And I'm literally sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, wow, thank you. A movie from 1986 where they actually give you a reason why the good guy is a good guy. And then he spends the rest of the movie saying he doesn't want to do this thing and he would just really like to have sex with you now, please, female character. And maybe I'll consider your offer of going and saving the fucking world and saving a child, which is sort of my thing. Maybe I'll do it if you have sex with me right now. I just kind of really want to have sex with you. But if you want to sleep in the car, that's fine. Because your
He
choices
offered
are
to let her
me
come in.
Yeah, you know what that
Yeah,
is.
so he could come in.
Dude, I don't have to explain the subtext of that dialogue. So bringing it back, the big problem that I had in this movie is I really hated Eddie Murphy's character. I didn't think that he was likable enough in any regard to make up for all the moments where he's kind of shitty. Couple that with the fact that I didn't like the effects very much in The Golden Child, and although I thought the kid was really cute, and I thought that I like Charles Dance a lot, and I've liked him in everything I've seen him in, and the lady that's Shakti, right? Is that who that is? I saw that, or am I thinking? Do I have her
character lady?
Yeah, the main lady whose name I don't know, which makes me feel bad. Yeah, I know. But, like, I thought that she was trying to do the best she could with fairly weak material.
Yeah.
And another thing where I'm spoiled from a lot of the movies that I've liked to watch over the years that unfortunately makes The Golden Child really not work for me is like bad fight scenes. And like they have her played at, like, people react to her like she's some kind of badass, but kind of all she ever really does is flips.
Yeah.
I think she did a kick or two.
Yeah, and she makes this whoosh sound every time she jumps, which I don't know where the fuck that comes
Yeah.
from.
Well, it's
Right,
about
like, that's what I'm
magic.
saying, so-
Kung Fu magic.
Yeah, if you've ever watched Ip Man, though, you'll be forever spoiled on fight scenes, and you're never going to enjoy another one again. And I've seen that movie like 3 times. So,
Right.
And I get that a lot of that is the timeliness. Same reason that people think the lightsaber fighting in the original Star Wars trilogy really sucks, because it was actually just
Obi-Wan's spin move.
right. I mean, and some things that went on during that era of filmmaking that maybe at work in The Golden Child, which is maybe why I would have liked it if I'd seen it when it was current, is in the 70s and 80s, people were a whole lot better about suspending their disbelief when you're watching a movie. So when you have a lightsaber fight, it's cool just because 2 guys are fighting with lightsabers.
Yeah.
When you have a kung fu fight, it's cool because it's a kung fu fight. It doesn't actually matter if it's good. You understand what it means to watch this scene and what's happening, and you're just sort of on board. But unfortunately for The Golden Child, this is too late for me. I couldn't get past.
I
those
actually have to take issue with that, because Bruce Lee was in the 70s, and there is no excuse for bad kung fu fights after the 70s. There just isn't.
Okay, I can't argue
Apart
with
from
that. Redacted.
laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Laziness and bad choreography.
Yeah, just
I
not
think, most-
hiring a good fight choreographer.
Right, I think most movies just didn't think they needed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just basically saying, we'll just have her do a couple flips and it'll be fine. You know,
Nobody will know the difference. I mean,
Bruce
no,
Lee.
we
do.
do. But that's no, well,
No, I'm
no.
with
That
you.
I think the American culture that we have Bruce Lee, but even his stuff in the films wasn't nearly as good as like what he was capable of. And even that was kind of down. And the stuff that's made today, like the act, tends to show a lot more than his films ever were capable of, because the film couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, because Lee was literally faster than 26 frames per second.
So what I was just to say, I think we still had that underappreciated. I think the majority of people still didn't have enough of the appreciation to actually know any better. Is real. All I was getting at.
I have to disagree, because I grew up on some of those 70s action flicks, and I think there was something that happened in the 80s where people just stopped giving a shit when it came to action.
I think that once Saturday Night Live hit, and you had a lot of really famous new funny people, they started throwing these people into movies and knowing that folks are going to go see a movie with Eddie Murphy.
They already knew,
and all of that crew.
So you're
and
saying that's how it justifies the Lady Man or Hot Rod or
basically. I mean,
or pretty much any of those.
It's still,
but actually,
it still
Hot
happens,
Rod
but
was
like,
funny. Ladies Man sometimes funny.
Yeah.
sometimes you have a funny movie in there, and then sometimes you have Superstar. And okay, so Golden Child really didn't like it, hated it. The kid was really cute. I wanted to like this movie, and I really did not like this movie at all. I can't really think of anything I liked about it, and the whole like kung fu mysticism epic quest thing is right in my wheelhouse of stuff that I'm sort of guaranteed to automatically like, even if it's bad. And The Golden Child really blew it. So that's all I got. This is a shitty movie. If you haven't seen it, just don't.
Okay.
Don't bother. If you loved it when you were a kid, you'll probably still like it. If you haven't seen it, you're going to hate it.
Okay, so this is the first time I saw this movie. And though I do not share Colin's view vis-a-vis this is a god-awful fucking movie,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a good movie.
Right.
Like I'm not here to defend the movie because it was not a good movie.
Right.
It was easier to sit through than some of the crap we've watched.
Right.
You know, Crybaby,
Really?
Leprechaun,
Oh, okay.
Convoy. Anyway,
I kind of put it on Leprechaun level.
yeah.
honestly.
Well, you know, like I said, I don't. Anyway, but before I lose my traction on this, I want to kind of address the point that John was getting at, that he's saying about the action that didn't hold up, and you know that he thinks that he should have had higher expectations, and that probably wasn't the issue. The whole movie, I got this, like, there were so many points in this movie that was totally contrasted this point, but the film felt like it was supposed to be a kids movie. Like you know,
Yeah, I
a
can kinda
10
see
or
that.
12-year-olds, you know, like a kids movie. You know, Three Ninjas type movie, you know, that younger
Right.
generation.
Right.
Swap out the protagonist and you have a kids movie.
Well, even with that protagonist, but like, yeah, even maybe. Anyway, like it was supposed to be intended for that younger generation, which is why I think the effects were at a more subpar because they wouldn't have known better. I think that's why some of the storyline is so utterly simplistic. However,
So like Leprechaun.
right. However, you
Like
then
Leprechaun
end up
was supposed to be a kids
but it's
movie.
like you hit these. Yeah, I think it was had a different target than what they ended up doing with it. I get the feeling they probably wrote it up and then got Eddie Murphy on it and like, well, we can't have Eddie Murphy and have it be, you know, a G or even a PG. And then he goes into that house and starts roughing up with the bikers, and she comes in and saves his butt, and then gets hit with inexplicable amounts of water,
Yeah.
and that was a kind of
Very
a sheer dress, and that bothered me because I'm like, that was completely unnecessary.
That was a convenient
that
water
bothered me
pipe.
too.
Yes,
I was like-
that was
I was like,
completely
really?
unnecessary.
And you know what?
And then later on, she's she's fighting, air quotes, but only doing flips in just a shirt and panties.
Yeah.
Once again, completely ridiculous. And I think it's one of those things that got like reassessed and rewritten, you know, once they decided it was going to be, you know, oh, we got Eddie Murphy, we're going to have, you know, a love interest. And then that all kind of got played out that way. I don't know. This is obviously a assumption, but I just wanted to address that because I think that's kind of part of the reason why it ended up production wise being a little bit, subpar or living up to lower standards. It's not a good movie.
They didn't even have a Gremlin style melting effect at the end.
Oh,
No.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah,
Okay,
if the devil
so-
had melted, that would have been way better.
Let's go back to some things. I was super amused to see Tywin Lannister, Charles Dance. Though in this movie and a lot of the movies he did in the 80s and 90s, I'm not a fan of him. Like,
He always plays the same character.
yes.
Yes, he
and
always plays
he
Charles Dance.
doesn't- Yeah.
Tywin Lannister.
However,
Yeah.
you know, he's done some more stuff, you know, recently, obviously the Game of Thrones stuff, but right before and after that, he's actually been really good in.
I don't know. Was that Dracula movie any good? Rise.
Oh.
Dracula.
Oh, Lord.
But no, he's actually
Didn't see it.
It
This
looked
is pretty-
fucked.
The thing
It
is,
was
like,
very good.
It looked fucked.
Oh.
Lannister is like the perfect role for Charles Dance.
Yes, it is.
It's
It
the
is.
role he was born to play.
It's like, so it's really difficult if you see him in that and then try to see him in other stuff. You're like, okay.
Put aside
Okay.
the ranger. Become the actor you were born to be.
I'm so confused. Why isn't he like, slaughtering, butchering up a carcass or like beating his dwarf son? This movie makes no sense. The golden child, what the hell?
You know, it's a real trip to see him in is Alien 3. He's like the love interest in Alien 3.
Crap.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's been a long
Well,
time.
let's not
I don't
forget,
even remember.
so weird.
He's like Christopher Lee. He's one of those guys that has such a unique look and a unique
Yes.
voice that we give him a lot of gravitas, but he really hasn't earned
Right,
it.
because he doesn't really know how to act.
Yeah,
I think
he's
Chris
just-
Lee can probably act.
No.
no,
I'm
I
talking
think
about
they can
Charles
both act.
Dance.
Okay.
Charles Dance. Christopher Lee can
Yeah,
act.
Yeah, but Christopher Lee, I mean, his history, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
He's
saying
like
he's
the
got a
king of
great.
the leprechauns.
He's done
Yeah, I
everything.
mean,
Well,
though.
I mean, he was like
he
Dracula.
takes every
and
role offered to him.
He was,
Yeah.
he was Dracula,
Like-
and then he like came back for Saruman, and as Saruman, he was just like a perfect fit. And then people were like, "Oh, this guy's really great. We should use him in everything."
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of those. Okay, this actor did really well in this one role, and suddenly, oh, well, he's a name. We should put him in everything.
Charles
He'll
Dance has
he's
a,
just
has
as
a
good.
great look.
Anyway,
Yes.
anyway,
Charles Dance does have a
anyway.
great look.
So I was very amused by that, and yes, it did inspire me. I think we should try to continue our Lannister.
The Lannister turkey.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have that, and then he uses a claw machine to pick up the golden child. That killed me. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, they bring this cage. I'm like, okay, they're gonna put it. Oh my god! It's Jack
That claw chose him.
And then, yeah, during this whole part, though, we have this atrocious synth and guitar music.
Oh yeah.
Yes!
Oh my god, the
Like,
score
it was so
bad.
It was so painful that, like, I could feel like my stomach curdling.
I just every time I
Well, and
disagreed
it
with
wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't in this film. It was totally inappropriate to all of this. Like, all the music was inappropriate to every scene in this movie.
I never missed the score of Untouchables more.
And then they have the kid in, like, the little cave being guarded by.
a retard.
Mongoloids.
Yes, let's say it.
creepy guy from Too Many Cooks.
Then we have was it the bird that started like singing "Putting on the Ritz"? Was that it?
No, it was the Pepsi can.
Pepsi,
Yeah.
the Pepsi
The-
can. Yes,
the
that's just
obligatory
the Pepsi
product
can.
placement.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't remember that.
Dancing.
They spent a lot of time on that too.
That actually entertained me, but it was really stupid. But yeah, it starts doing "Put on the Ritz," and as it's like making like the noise, and like I just expect the young Frankenstein.
That was like my favorite scene when I was a little kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was every little kid's favorite scene. It was fun.
That-
And
And then
the little kid has
and
magic.
I would like to settle the Eddie Murphy character in this versus Venkman in Ghostbusters. I never saw Venkman making sure nobody burned meat on their grill. Good guy Eddie
An
Murphy.
Asian family just to get some chips.
I just want some chips. Hey, turn that over. It's burning. That shit was funny. That
Yeah,
was like
that-
the
that was
only
pretty
time
funny.
in the entire movie I
that
laughed.
that was the only funny
That's
part.
what I'm saying.
was,
Okay.
I just want some chips.
So that's really
That was such a bizarre scene.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he was looking over
Right,
the
so
fucking
it's like
wall.
he knew that was there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the setup. This is a bit predicated on the fact that the actor in the shot cannot see anything that is outside of the shot, just like
Right.
the audience. I
Right.
mean, like the dialogue and like, I just wanted some chips and blah blah blah. Like that was funny, but I'm going. He can't possibly not have
Right,
seen
no,
these.
yeah.
No, my guess
They
is
were
that
all
he-
in the
he
same
had-
shot
he had
together.
to-
You could.
He had to cut through those people's lawn so he could get to the back of the biker's house.
But
right,
she-
but it was like a half wall or something. He was already head first over it. That he would have
Oh, yeah.
seen that family that was like 3 feet
And they
from
would have
the
seen
wall.
him.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
that-
thing.
This
Well,
movie-
Okay. You're
This movie
you're
had
a
so many
Asian,
issues.
You're an Asian family, and
Were
you're
they
in the
Asian?
backyard barbecuing. Also, in the middle of L.A. All of a sudden, this big, tall black dude comes up to your wall,
Yeah,
crawls over it,
They'd with a gun. They'd be afraid. Yes.
and
but
he
he
sees
put-
this, and he's like, "Oh shit, they're afraid of me. They're gonna call the cops. I better pretend like I'm going to shoot them."
But the thing is that he was looking.
some chips.
He was looking right at them. Like when he was looking at the wall, He was taller than the wall. He was looking right at the fucking family.
Yeah.
The family were looking right at him, and he still climbs over.
Yeah, and then acts
Yeah.
surprised when the camera pans over and there's a family.
On more to the
There-
point, I
there
don't
are
know
so
why
many-
he didn't just run. You know, obviously they did it for the joke, but
Yeah.
like he could have literally just ran past them.
There are
and
so
continued
many
on.
tiny
This was a
things
Frasier
in
issue
this movie.
because all he had to say was, "Hey, I just need to get through your lawn."
Yeah, but this was
Yes.
better than a Frasier.
If
Yeah.
this was a Will Smith movie, he'd have been like, "Excuse me, pardon me, and I'm gonna be back for some of them ribs." And then, like,
Yes,
that would have been the
it's
joke,
actually
You're
true.
right. You're right. That would have been much
You know,
better. Yeah.
right? Yeah, but instead we have this weird. I don't know.
Had this really weird scene. Yeah,
It was
made no
still
sense.
pretty funny, but like
Like I
it
said,
just-
the scene was funny. It's a terrible scene because of how it's set up. So yes,
It fits right
I'm not
in.
defending the movie whatsoever. It wasn't as painfully atrocious as some of the stuff we've watched, or as what it appears the experience that Colin had with it.
I don't
What's
know,
his
man.
face? Colin.
Who?
So I would never recommend this to anybody, but I had no problem sitting through it, I guess, which is odd
Surprising.
considering last week, you know.
Yeah.
Surprising your position on Eddie Murphy.
What? Well, no, I'm just saying, like, they didn't really build him up to be such a horrible person.
No, I'm talking about Eddie Murphy, the actor.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying he's not funny. I'm just saying he's not, like, he's run the same fucking jokes. Sometimes he does them in the right time, and it's funny again.
Yeah.
I've never said this
Yeah.
before, but I liked him better in Daddy Daycare.
I
Wow.
never saw that.
I never saw
Me
that
neither.
either.
Nope.
So, Chris, you're pretty much wrapped up, correct? All right. Well, we'll let James go because he ends up being the last of the four of you more often
Yeah.
than not. So, James.
First off, I want to say I don't know what anybody's talking about. I watched several episodes of this. Nobody's mentioned Blanche or Rose or
I
any of that
expected,
stuff.
Fantastic.
I expected polar bears. I was not disappointed.
Oh, so good, so good.
Can I just say thank you for being a friend?
Absolutely, you can.
Traveling
You know,
down the road and back again.
Back again.
I would really have rather.
heart
I would
is
have.
True, you're a pal and a comforter.
I think I would have rather watched Golden Girls.
We agree on that.
Hey, Colin, we're friends again.
Yeah, exactly.
You would see the biggest gift
would
was
be
the
for me, and the
and the
heart
card attached would say,
thank you for being a friend.
Obviously,
Still
you guys
going.
have watched Golden Girls
Still
way too
going.
often.
Are you kidding? Golden Girls is one of the best fucking
I'm not,
shows
no,
in
I'm
the
not
world.
saying it is. Like I've seen a lot of it when in the '90s when it aired.
Plus, that song's catchy.
That was a
like
show.
I remember the main part of it, not like the whole song.
That was a show I didn't get at all. I like when it was current.
'Cause you weren't an old lady.
I didn't
Wow.
get it. I did not get it at all.
Hey guys, guess what? I haven't seen a single episode of.
Golden Girls.
Oh, boo!
It's really funny.
I would rather that you didn't watch The Golden Child.
Well,
Well,
too late. You
watch
did
Golden
that.
Girls.
Functionally, I didn't watch Golden Child because I barely remember any of it.
Oh shit!
So your review is going to be like, first of all, I don't know what any of you guys are talking about because I don't remember any of that shit.
Yeah,
Just spoilers for Eric's review. If you're ever wondering what his Good Burger review was like, just listen to his Golden Child review, and you'll get the gist of it.
What are you talking about? If people want to hear the Good Burger episode, all they have to do is go to our webpage.
Yep. Okay.
Please,
Well,
please go to our webpage. Please,
go to our web zone.
please.
Give us a
Our
comment,
web
and we'll
zone.
send you a pizza roll.
For every positive review, you get an episode of.
Oh man,
I wish we could. I wish we could send our listeners pizza rolls. That would be so
I
great.
want a
I
pizza roll.
know. Oh,
I think if we
That's-
smash it down
pizza
good
roll.
enough, we could put it in an envelope.
Market biohazard.
That's a joke from another famous reviewer, Red Letter Media. So, Golden Child, yes, I saw it when I was a kid. I loved it when I was a little kid.
I know this to be
Revisiting
true.
it, yeah, it doesn't hold up.
Oh.
Like at all.
Thank you.
This
Man,
this
I'm
is also true.
So glad.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Chris in that, like, it's an easy watch. It's not like really fucking awful, but there's a lot of problems with it.
Yeah,
Don't
it's one
expect
of
it
those
to be
movies you
good.
could put on, and you're not really suffering much for walking away from it either.
Yeah.
You know, I really should have did the dishes
Yes.
while I watched this movie.
This is a dish doing kind of movie. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's amusing enough because you can hear bits and pieces
Yeah.
of dialogue. And
This is a 3 beer and full bottle of red wine kind
Oh
of movie.
hell yeah! Now you're talking.
I don't even know if that would have done it for me.
This is like
So I
literally
looked
the
up
only
tri-
time I've regretted
So-
not getting drunk. Like I didn't get drunk when I watched this movie.
So
afterwards.
maybe
I
the
felt like a
next
fool.
time you're approaching a movie that you don't think you're going to make it through, instead of drinking, here's my idea. Instead of drinking,
Well, you're telling me to do something other than drinking? It's not going to
well,
happen.
no. I mean this to get through it instead of drinking. You can drink, just don't focus on the drinking. What I was really going to say, like, get like some badass chicken wings, like a whole, like a family tray of chicken
Man.
wings, and just like
Now I want
suffer your
chicken
way
wings.
through this. So like by the time you're done, you're like you can't move. Your like whole face and like arms are just covered in like buffalo sauce, and like you're having like a near food orgasmic experience.
My God.
And then suddenly you've actually enjoyed the
You paint a
the
magical
Golden
picture.
Child.
You just made me actually like this movie more just thinking about eating those wings while watching it. Like,
I know.
good.
That was in my mind. I'm like, man, how can you make the worst movie possible really enjoyable? Take all focus away from it and do something better.
Yeah.
This episode of John Hates Movies brought to you by BW3
And Gino's Pizza Rolls.
and Gino's Pizza Rolls, Tortinos.
Hey!
Tortinos.
So I looked up some trivia on this movie.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yep. The movie
Sam
was
Elliott.
Yeah, yep. The movie was
We're
originally
friends
written
again.
as a completely serious film.
Yeah, there was a different main lead, right?
Yep, Mel Gibson
That's right.
was slated to
Get
be
out
cast.
of here.
Well,
No.
and
Yeah,
to be
it was
honest,
a serious
like,
movie, and
I
Mel
thought it
Gibson
was supposed to be a serious movie, based on what it was, premised
Yeah,
or whatever.
well, Mel Gibson declined it because he's got.
No, he had to pull out for a different role.
Oh, that makes even more sense. Okay, so he pulled out, and then they got Eddie Murphy, who
seems
was
like a pullout
coming
kinda
hot off of 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, 48 Hours.
Also not funny.
Wow, dude. Now you thought Chris and Colin had an argument. Coming off of 48 Hours, extremely hot. Yep. Extremely hot in the Hollywood sense.
He's so hot right now.
Yep. And they put him in Golden Child, and then they rewrite the script so that it can have a bit of comedy in it.
Right.
And honestly, I believe that was actually the right choice for this movie, because if they tried to do it all serious, it would be the worst fucking movie ever made. Like the absurdity of the story is so
what changed?
fucking yeah. I mean, it's not good, but at least that levity helps bring you through the ridiculous, over dramatic stupidness of the comprises most of the film.
See, I thought
Yeah.
I thought the filthy old monk was the funniest guy in the movie.
Oh yeah, no doubt,
Sorry,
no
Shen.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
That dude's
Yeah,
funny.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, when he
No,
gets
it's
the
not
money
Mr.
and he's like, "What's that, Scuzz Bucket?"
Yeah.
I mean, like that was
That dude's funny.
genuinely a funny.
That guy's
moment.
he's funny, and I think like every Asian person
He
in
was
this
funny.
movie was also in Big Trouble in Little China. And Henry Wong does the voice of the major domo in Mulan, which came out 10 years after this or something, like late 90s. Yeah, he's got a really very recognizable voice, and I think
Oh yeah, he does.
he's also Lopan, right? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I need to preface this, and we'll let James get back to you. But these gentlemen, these gentlemen, they did not get cast without merit.
Right.
They are very talented guys.
Right.
But it is a shame that out of an entire Asian community of struggling actors,
There should be
only-
more than 5 of them.
there should be more
Yeah.
than 5 of them.
There's an entire documentary about it. I think it's called Yellow Fever, and it's about exactly that. And they interview all these guys, like all these dudes that you see in all these 80s movies where they just wanted to throw in Asian people, and basically they all have the same story. They're like, yeah, it fucking sucked.
Yep.
It's terrible. And what's his name? How do you forget his name? George Takei. He'll tell you the same thing. Like, because he did some Jerry Lewis movies where he was just completely objectified for his Asianness because his agents assured him that it would be really good for his career. It did nothing for him but degrade him. It was this was a 60s, 70s, 80s was a terrible time to be an Asian actor. Really bad.
So a little bit more trivia. The girl was the main girl in this movie was only 18 when they filmed it. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, just turned 18. Yeah, she looks like she was like 25, 26.
I thought she was 30.
Nope.
Wow.
But yeah, just turned 18, and some people were talking about the ridiculous music in this movie. They actually had another guy record an entire score, and during the screenings, they got really negative notes, mostly on the score, so they actually rescored the entire movie. So yeah,
Did they do it all in like one afternoon?
So you're saying that the
had
original
a
score
different
was
guy.
worse than this?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
They kept like very few notes from like the original score in the actual film, and
They used an A at least once.
Yep, they have 2 soundtracks to this movie that you can actually buy.
I would love to hear the other
with
one.
the unplayed score. Yeah, actually, I want to say that the other one was probably like during the fight scene where he kills the monkey guy and it's actually it just sounds really dated, like really dated, cheap action soundtrack, like the shit that you would hear on like Death Wish. So not good. but the other stuff not necessarily any better.
No.
Just a little more appropriate for the time.
I mean, it sounded like they just did a Beverly Hills Cop punch up on the.
Oh yeah,
like they just this is Eddie Murphy. It's got to have a
That's exactly what
punchy
I thought.
Beverly Hills
Yeah,
Cop
Like, can
soundtrack.
we make it more Axel F? Can we do that?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's it for trivia, and I guess the only thing, obviously there were some of the effects that I liked. I still like the demon, even though it's like super ridiculous now that I'm an adult, where the dude literally explodes into a demon.
It's good design. Like, the demon is well designed.
Oh yeah,
The art direction of the demon is good.
yeah, I loved it.
Get it.
Oh, thing with fucking Satan talking like Dr. Claw. That was retarded.
I'm pretty sure
And-
it was.
And the last thing that I'll say that like made me like facepalm really fucking hard when I watched this movie was during the fight scene where the bad guys raid the house to try to get the dagger. The woman flips past Sarto Numsy or whatever the fuck while he's
Numspa.
leveling a crossbow at Eddie Murphy. She jumps down from a tree right fucking next to him, flips past him to get in front of the arrow that he hasn't even shot the arrow yet. She starts flipping, he shoots, she gets in front of the arrow to catch it in her back so she can die.
I think she did that on purpose because it meant that Eddie Murphy now had to get the kid to save her.
Because of the implication.
But does Eddie Murphy know that he's got like magic?
Yeah, fuck if I know. I'm just giving you.
But yeah, she couldn't have like roundhouse kicked that shit out of his hand.
Well, he doesn't. He continues on because the other guy says you need to save the child because the child can save her.
Because of the implication.
But see, at that point, I was still facepalming so hard the fact that she flipped in front of a moving crossbow
I'm
bolt.
completely with you. well,
I know
it's
what
not
I'll
just
do.
that,
I'll
but she
just
flips
die.
for like 10 minutes before she even gets there.
She can flip faster than a crossbow bolt flies.
Yes.
Well, you know. Those
Yeah, I
years
was still
that-
facepalming after that, so I didn't even hear the rest of the shit.
Like,
so
anytime anybody cites literally any scene from this movie, it just makes me angry.
Oh, no, I hear you.
And no matter what you say about it, like, you can say something good about it, and I'm like, yes, the art direction on the demon was good.
yeah, and despite Eric's earlier comment, watching the entire thing, Eddie Murphy, I found him funny in almost every scene he was in, but really, it just made me want to watch 48 Hours again.
Yeah.
48 Hours is the one with
Nick Nolte.
Nick
Nick
Nolte.
Nolte.
Yeah, okay.
I'll admit,
I really
all
like
I
that
really
movie.
wanted to do during this
I
movie
really like
was
that
watch
movie.
Beverly Hills Cop. Like,
Yeah.
that was about it.
My name is Judge.
My name is Judge.
James, you're settled up?
Yep.
So, Colin, I don't think you have to worry about being angry because I have a feeling that Eric's not going to have much to describe that actually happened within the movie. Eric, why don't you tell me what why you can't remember any of this?
Well,
Last night.
Funny thing happened. My friend had a birthday party, and I attended it and enjoyed some libations.
Oh God!
And then,
Did you over libate yourself?
yeah,
Were you heavily libated for your viewing?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh God!
So
Good man.
I wrote these last night, and I don't even remember what I wrote.
Wow.
So here goes some notes. Nothing quite goes together like Tibetan imagery and 80s techno music. That the scene at the very beginning where they're showing that he is the Buddha or whatever the fuck, and they do the Buddha test on him. And which one of these is yours, Buddha? And none of them. So I'll take yours. And
Yeah.
he just takes the one from, and everybody's like, "Oh, great!
Oh wow!
He is the one."
He's a dick.
Gang my necklace.
Yeah, he just stole from that dude.
Oh shit! Tywin Lannister is a barbarian. Gratuitous use of Eddie Murphy's dumb laugh. Like they just snuck his
All movies good.
they just snuck his dumb laugh into every scene. Like have some reason for him to be laughing at his own joke because he was the only one making jokes and he was the only one laughing. So they just had to work in Eddie Murphy laughing at his own jokes because they wanted to hear his stupid laugh. The film score just made me puke.
Oh my God! Did you really puke? I will be so happy if you did.
I didn't. Okay, no. I guess I wanted you to think that last night. The film score just made me puke. Be back in a minute. So I don't remember these jokes that I'm trying to make.
You didn't puke, but you knew you should, and that's what counts.
I can't even make myself.
Next note, Eddie Murphy's awful. It's like I'm getting raped by a dragon.
My dog.
Wow.
My
Like
dog.
remember that's why they said she had premonition because her family got raped or the
No. It's like she's been alive for 300 years. How'd that happen? One of her ancestors was raped by a dragon.
That happened a lot.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Funny.
Thanks
Sorry.
Thanks for watching this shitty movie, sponsored by this shitty drink, Pepsi.
Someone's a Coke fan. Or maybe a Coke fiend.
What the fuck? The next note says Golden Glow, shades from... Oh.
Read it.
Golden Glow, shades from widen to plastic in 1 second.
What?
I have no fucking idea what that means.
What? Shades from what? Okay. Shades from widen to plastic in 1 second.
Like
the golden glow out his window when he sees the astral projection of the golden child?
oh, that's widen means wooden. Okay. Yes, it's when he's looking out his window, and from the inside of his house, he looks through wooden shades, and when you see it from the outside, they're plastic shades.
Continuity!
Whoa, we just CSI'd my drunken text.
Stupid autocorrect.
Zoom in, enhance. Zoom in, enhance.
Okay, Eddie don't want no trouble, then pulls his gun out.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Well, you want some chips.
Ooh, nobody's talked about this yet. I can't believe it. Body Talk, best rat song ever.
Oh, you don't even know how like 2 weeks. I mean, just doing the toe cutter, I was like sorely tempted to do a Golden Child
Body Talk
cover of Body Talk, but I was like, you can't just do that 2 weeks in a row.
No clue why this biker fight is even going on.
Yeah.
No one knows.
The next note says Murphy, man talk.
Was that when he was all like, "Hey, don't come in here. I'm handling this." Was it when he was mansplaining?
Oh,
why
yes,
yeah.
he was
stay in the car?
he was mansplaining.
This is man's
it to her.
work.
Yes, that's it. Karate, fuck, this movie is awful.
I'm pretty much the summation of the entire film.
All of a sudden, Eddie became Chris Tucker in Rush Hour.
So it went to the future.
Was
And,
it like, which one of y'all kicked me, or was it like...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Next note: does Chris Tucker only have a career because he's like Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
No more continuity errors, please. No more.
Yeah, that's
So bad.
That's not going to happen.
Worst I've seen.
The next note is Caves, semicolon. Fuck this movie. Oh, I don't know why these are making me laugh. It's stupid. Eddie Murphy movies in the 80s are like Seth Rogen movies in the 2000s. They don't have to be good to make bank.
True.
Ooh.
Ouch. Ooh.
He was funny in 40-Year-Old Virgin, but then...
If we...
well, it wasn't really his
Nope,
movie.
it wasn't. See, he's way funnier in movies that aren't his.
Hey guys, spoiler alert, this movie sucks.
That's like some premonition shit.
My dog. You're warming my heart.
The end sequence is playing out like a shitty video game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Oh shit, it's a terrible demon effect. This is the
I
worst.
actually want to revisit that. That is the best explanation. Like
It's like a terrible QuickTime event.
yeah, the end of the movie is Bayonetta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right on, dude. Yes.
The Golden Child would make a better video game than it would a movie.
Push button now.
Probably not, but yeah.
This is the worst third act I've ever seen, ever. Save the kid. First, stop at the morgue to reanimate this.
Whoa. Whoa.
That might not make it.
Oh, no.
Whoever made us watch this should have made us watch a decent movie like Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, me and Eric disagree on Eddie Murphy films to watch, but yes.
So I hated it, and I hated it a lot.
I did too.
Like,
obviously.
And I don't think Eddie Murphy's all that funny. Beverly Hills Cop is a good movie, though.
Yeah, just imagine if we watched Beverly Hills Cop. James could accidentally have watched Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Or Beverly Hills Ninja.
That would have been awesome.
Can I give you a little stupid sidebar about my childhood for a minute?
Sure.
When I was like 11, I seriously called into the light rock station locally and requested the Axel Foley theme every day.
Wow.
That's a good song.
They hated me. I was the kid that requested the Axel F theme. But bless their hearts, over at 99.1 WFMK, they played it. They played it every day. I would request it, and they would.
They're
play
still
it.
going,
nice.
WFMK.
Now that's
Are they really?
Yes, they are.
Light Rock 99.
Yep.
WFMK.
that's
Wow.
a
Shout out.
thing of the past. Calling into a radio station
Right?
for a request.
because
that
now
just
you
doesn't
text
happen
or
anymore.
email. Or...
You text or
Post
email
it
or
on their
Facebook.
site.
I was say I was
Okay.
looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, Golden Child. I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna take us home. Eric, are you pretty much
Completely
you,
done.
you're completely
Me
done?
home tonight. I don't want- Anyway.
Anyway, so Golden Child, as James attested, he loved this movie when he was a kid.
That's the only good thing that can be said about
I watched a lot of it, just like he did, because I think I don't know if we had this on VHS or whatever, but
No, we didn't have it, but it was always on cable.
yeah, that must be it. It was always on cable. So we watched it. I know that we watched it a lot, and I don't know whose fault that was. I can't specifically say it was James's because I too had a strange fondness for it when I was young.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like it's supposed to be a kids movie.
But when I
really does
watched
resonate, yeah.
when I watched this today, I mean, it almost made my head explode.
Like Charles Dance.
Yes. I'm not typically one that really gets bogged down into Christians, but this movie, you just can't fucking help it. This is a poorly put together movie.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
Okay. Yeah, you can't make it a plot point to have a character not spill a drop of water, and then you do a zoom up on the glass after he experiences some kind of fall, and there's
And he
water
definitely spilled.
dripping down the fucking sides of the glass and dripping
Oh,
into
that was
the
terrible.
Reshoot it. Reshoot it.
No, Eddie Murphy was on a schedule, man.
That's kind of seemed like the explanation for the whole movie.
But
It's
I
like,
mean, that's
hey, we
just
don't have
part of
time.
it. That's just part of it. Like, I noticed so many continuity errors, so many weird, nonsensical
Real
plot
quick,
points.
John Carpenter was originally supposed to do this movie. I assume when it was supposed to be the serious movie.
That would have been a different thing altogether.
Yeah, it would have.
Right.
I can't really say whether it would be good because John Carpenter.
He later went on to do Big Trouble in Little China.
He's done some good stuff, but he's done some god awful stuff too. Like to this
Like
day,
vampires?
like vampires. To this day, I
And
will.
Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, I will.
Vampires.
Vampires is
Vampires.
I actually love
god-awful.
vampires.
Oh, it's so awful.
James Wood.
So awful, and James
John and I
Wood
saw it
is
together.
god awful in that.
Boss, you ain't ever lived till you got head from a vampire.
Oh Jesus God! Don't even bring that fucking movie up.
When John and I watched that movie together in the theater, I came up with what I said about it. I still think might be my most succinct and accurate assessment of not enjoying a movie that I've ever said. That being, I saw it for free and still wanted my money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a
Awful.
miserable fucking movie. Miserable fucking movie. Anyway, but yeah, and this Golden Child very much in the same vein. It's just really, really, really bad and very, very poorly put together. I'm kind of shocked that I was this snowed as a kid. You know, I mean, I would have thought that I would have been able to pick up that this was a terrible movie. I know that when I was a kid, it didn't make sense, but I was used to things not making sense when I was a kid. I didn't realize that it could be because this movie just doesn't make any fucking sense and doesn't follow any kind of decent narrative structure like you would
So
expect.
instead of accepting that you don't get it because you probably just don't understand, to you don't get it and there's nothing to explain.
Exactly.
Kids are stupid and they don't like good things.
Right. Kids are stupid and they don't like good things, and this movie is stupid and is not good. So it's just... Anyway, not to get too much onto it, everybody said pretty much what needs to be said about this movie. It's not Leprechaun, so it's not the worst thing that we reviewed.
I liked it less than Leprechaun.
I think I'm with Eric.
It doesn't...
I think it was worse than Leprechaun.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Like Leprechaun, there were parts that made me laugh.
Yeah, I didn't even think
there
it
were
was
parts
possible.
in Leprechaun that wow. So is Golden Child our new
I think
most
so.
hated movie?
For me,
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
For me,
No.
it is. I hated it.
No.
Once again, it doesn't have
50-50?
the universal.
Yeah, it
detest.
doesn't have the universal detest.
That's
I think
true.
we all universally detested Leprechaun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we can all agree that Leprechaun was awful. But
Yeah.
I personally managed to somehow enjoy The Golden Child less. I don't
Ditto.
even know how. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to have to state for the record that this is not a movie that I recommend to anyone ever again.
Yep. Same boat.
So that's my take on it. This is just a kind of a miserable fucking movie. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor.
Is there anything more wondrous than new love? Do you wish you could hold on to it forever?
Well, now you can with new ReUndies, the relationship underwear from Flarf in his and hers. Simply put on your ReUndies at the start of a new relationship and then never take them off. ReUndies hold on to everything except that sultry relationship smell. If your ReUndies ever wear out or get holes, we'll dispatch a daring technician to your house or import a molecular backup copy from Dimension X. Thinking about getting married soon? Then invest in one of many ReUndies expansion pads. Each pad carries enough fiber memory to hold on to 50 years of relationship folderol. Enough for even the most tenacious of marriages. Order now and you'll get our ReUndies scrapbooking kit. Safely display and preserve all of your previous relationships' ReUndies memories. Your future spouse will love you for it. ReUndies. Love means holding on. True love means never letting anything go. Ever. And remember, this Valentine's Day, love is spelled VLLARPFGH.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this week's game. This week we have James running it. James, tell us, what are we playing?
This one, because I am so lazy and awesome.
How
We are
many
doing
how many answers do we have to come up with per question?
Only 27.
Okay.
No, this one is pure, just pure storytelling and improv if need be. It's a suggestion from Millie that I'm stealing in case you want to cut that out. But it's, this game is basically food disaster stories. So in the movie we had blood in the oatmeal. This can be like anything.
That was kind of on purpose. It's not a disaster.
How do you know?
Well-
Maybe they
If you were eating oatmeal and you found blood in it, I think that would be a little bit disastrous. So.
Extra iron.
This can be any awful thing that you find in a food that you've gotten, or how you've managed to horribly screw up something you've cooked. Anything along those lines. So,
Eric, rocket like not like a hurricane because we're indoors, but like
Okay.
a gust of wind.
So growing up, we usually went over to relatives' houses for Thanksgiving, but there were a couple years where either it just didn't work out for us to go, because we would have to drive all the way up to Traverse City to do it, and sometimes that just didn't work out. So it was only 2 times we ended up having Thanksgiving at our house when I was growing up. The first time we had everything cooked, and my mom's pulling the turkey out of the oven. She's got the turkey like on a plate. She's walking it from the oven to the dinner table and drops it.
No!
And
Hey, it's still good. It's still good.
Oh no, it was not. And it explodes.
oh no!
That would have been cool
and-
to see.
And instead, my dad, God love him, instead of being like, getting up to help him or to help my mom or, say something comforting, he just goes, "Oh, Linda."
The most cutting remark you can do.
Oh,
Jesus.
Linda.
So she spent the rest of Thanksgiving in her bedroom. And then the next time that we had Thanksgiving at home, my dad
Starting to
borrowed
understand why you guys didn't have Thanksgiving at home.
my dad borrowed a deep fryer from somebody.
Uh-huh.
And on Thanksgiving morning, he and my sister went out to deep fry the turkey, but they didn't think beforehand that they would need oil. So they didn't have any oil. So they ended up going around to every gas station in the area that was open, finding the little bottles of canola for like $4.
Oh.
And they had to like cobble together enough of those to be able to fill the fryer. And this every time my dad cooks something, he does this exact thing. He pulls it out before it's done. So he pulled out the turkey and started carving it before it was cooked. Like, it was very red on the inside. And so we had double deep fried turkey.
Yep.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty tasty, though.
Yeah.
Double deep fried turkey.
I mean, but it was like carved open, so like it was. It just.
Okay. So it's soaked up in all the oil into the meat.
Yes.
Oh,
Thanksgiving with the
God.
Largents is a disaster.
Yeah, remind me to get takeout.
Thanksgiving with the large.
Oh, Linda.
Oh, Linda. Wait, I want an Oh, Linda shirt.
Oh, that shirt's sad.
Oh, Linda. Oh, Linda.
That's the worst. It's not even like, what the fuck is wrong? Or like, it's just like, I am so disappointed.
Yeah,
in you.
it's bad. It was bad.
Oh.
Spoiler alert: my parents aren't together.
Oh, man.
Divorce is always funny.
Hooray! So, no shit, there I was. I was down in Florida. I was in a cover band at the time. We were playing spring break down there. With a girl I was seeing, and we were pretty serious at the time. She wanted to go and visit her grandparents, who were also in Florida, and her parents were down there. And like they made this like a family thing while we were down there. It was kind of a cool little thing. And we were going to do it up right. So they got a bunch of lobsters.
Ooh.
I know. And this family they were big shellfish fans. They were very shellfish. They love shellfish, like crab, shrimp, whatever.
Does he lose points for the obvious joke?
No.
Are they from the Northeast? Like,
Oh,
'cause
they're Michigan native, so
Okay.
and they revel in shellfish. It's an event and blah blah blah. So everybody was really excited about this, and they're cooking lobsters, and it was going to be just really great. And everybody's enjoying their lobster, and they're all like in just hog heaven. And I crack into mine, and I don't know what my lobster ate, or if he shit his shell or something.
Oh no!
But it tasted like hot garbage. It was probably in my life the most revolting thing I've ever tasted. And I have had lobster before and enjoyed the shit out of it. It was like I was in crisis, though, because I'm like, lobster is supposed to taste good. And this is literally the most disgusting thing I've ever experienced. A friend of mine told me about the delicacy in Iceland of fermented shark and how it's just really rank. And I thought, I bet it tastes like that lobster that one time. And but everybody there is having such a good time, and I suddenly became super self-conscious, and I'm just like, I can't bum them out and be like, this is nasty. And I just didn't say anything. And I just kept eating it because I was feeling so awkward about it, because everybody else was so excited. They were like over the moon with lobster. They're like licking their fingers and shit and just being disgusting in that way that good food makes you be. But there was no amount of drawn butter on the damn planet that could have saved this thing. It was absolutely disgusting. And I dutifully ate as much as I could until I reached the point where I'm like, I've eaten enough that it's not rude if I stop. But they're like, yeah, how about this lobster, huh, Colin? I'm like, yeah, it's really good. Just suffering. And it was so bad that this was probably 4 years ago. I still cannot eat lobster.
Oh no!
I can't eat lobster anymore because I'm so afraid. Just like in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, when he talks about the guy in the restroom who's worried that men in red woolen shirts are getting their kicks off things that he'll never understand.
Never understand.
Yeah, like I fear that if I eat lobster, it's gonna taste like this nasty ass lobster from Florida. I even tried to overcome my fear of lobster like 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't do it.
Wow.
I couldn't even try it because, I reiterate, hot garbage. That's my food disaster story.
Chris?
The company I used to work for, because it was a tech company that did 24/7 support 365. That meant that people were working on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
And what they would normally do was they would order like Boston Market cold meals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, the previous, and they'd all be made the previous day and given out or delivered that day or whatever. So people would be eating like, turkey sandwich kind of shit on Christmas Day while working. Me and a couple of my coworkers who were involved in this said, I bet they'd let us take over Christmas, and actually, because one of the buildings had a full kitchen. So, I bet we can do a full, lunch and whatnot. And the first year we did like full deep fried turkeys and 2 deep fried turkeys, a bunch of ham, and like full meals, like the salad, sides, baked beans, and green beans, and crispy treats, and everything, right? Mm-hmm. So we got this, and we did a fantastic job. The next year, we're on this. We're going to do this again. Had everything prepared. It was sitting in the fridges at the other building, and I had one of the turkeys that one of my coworkers had 2 of the turkeys, and I had we were doing beef roast too. But the other 2 roasts and about $900 worth of food was all stored at the building. And we just were going to prep it once we got there. So I walk in at 6 in the morning, and the first thing that comes out of my coworker's mouth as I get there, Christmas Day, because nothing's open on Christmas Day, is everything in that fridge had to be thrown away.
What?
The fridge had died. So we're trying to scramble to figure out how we're feeding about 150, 160 people on Christmas Day when we have like nothing. What it ended up coming down to, we survived it by scrambling with what we did have, the pantry items, the non-cold items. We did that. I had one of the roasts, so that was salvageable for the first shift, and the turkeys were able to be done for the first shift. But we quite literally put $900 worth of Chinese food on the corporate credit card for the second and third shift.
Nice. Solid. Good save. Jesus.
So,
$900. Some fucking Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I guess it has an okay ending, but that was a kick in the teeth to start the day
that
off.
would be crushing.
It's like, well, yeah, because like I know I have like 8 hours of work ahead of me, and now I'm like I have 2 hours of what the fuck are we gonna do? And then like another 5 or 6 of okay, well we're gonna make this bean go really far.
So
I hope everyone likes vegetables because we got cans of them.
Yeah, really.
Well, my story, like Chris's, well, actually, none of you guys purposefully visited Ruination upon your friends like I did with my food disaster story.
Wait, I might know this story.
So, way back in the day, pre-internet, well, not even pre-internet, just when the internet was starting to get started, like right about maybe 96 or 95, sometime around then.
I think I know what this story is.
I'm getting excited.
So I was really big into anime, like most teenagers.
Is this the?
yeah.
This is the
Okonomiyaki.
Yes. So basically,
So good.
what happened is that there was a character on Ranma, one of the animes that I watched, that basically made this thing that looked like a Japanese pizza called Okonomiyaki. And that was like her whole deal, is that she was like this master okonomiyaki chef. And I thought that looked so fucking cool. It was like this crazy pizza. So since this was the early days of the
Crazy Pizza sounds like a good video game.
yeah, it was
Sorry.
crazy pizza.
I'd probably
So
play
since
that.
this was the early days of the internet, I combed GeoCities to look for a place that would have like a recipe for this Japanese food that nobody had ever heard of, okonomiyaki. And I found one. The recipe was actually pretty damn vague, but it had almost all of the ingredients. It just didn't have what kind of portions or how to actually prepare the dish.
This was like a pound cake.
Yeah. So, I did the best that I could, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this for my friends. I'm going to have this great big old dinner party. I had a friend of mine who was hosting for me. So we ended up having this huge dinner party with like maybe about 10 people. And so I start making the okonomiyaki. Well, I went to the store. We had this Asian market in Lansing, and I went there and I was like, "Whoa, this is!" I mean, because this is back in 1995. You just didn't do these kind of things.
Yeah.
If you weren't Asian, you weren't in the Asian market. That's just the way it worked. So I go
Those
there.
were the rules.
I go there and I'm looking for all these ingredients, and one of the ingredients is wasabi, which I had never heard about before or seen. So there's these big tubes of green paste, right? Yep. So I go and I start making these pizzas, and they're like basically potato pancakes with like kind of these things. The one thing that the ingredients, or one thing that the recipe did not have, like I said, it didn't have portions. So it didn't explain that the sauce that you were making was not the base, like tomato sauce. Right? More like it was something that you would sprinkle on top afterwards to kind of garnish it, right? Like some people do with balsamic on a pizza margarita. So I'm looking at all the ingredients that I have, and I say the only thing that makes any sense is that it has to be this wasabi stuff.
That's exactly where I thought he was going.
This is the only thing that has that kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Is this wasabi?
Literally the largest portion of wasabi I have ever seen or heard of in my life.
So I spread wasabi all over this giant potato pizza as the base. And of course, none of us at this dinner party know Jack from Adam. And so I present these to my friends, and we all start eating them. Let me say, this apartment had one bathroom. It was not a pleasant experience for anybody involved. Literally, after 15 minutes, it was like, what's that thing? The things getting pop up, the gophers that you nail down.
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. It was like whack-a-mole, where the reason the gophers were popping up is because they had fire hose ass. Like, that literally was the rest of the night for the entire evening. And then somebody would just jump up and go, I gotta go.
Oh my god.
You know, one benefit to having lived through this experience with John was that since then, anytime anybody has wasabi on anything now, I can be like, it's not that bad. Because my maiden voyage on wasabi was
Okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki party.
So,
never again.
That's my food disaster. It was a whack-a-mole with fire hose ass.
That's a good one. Oh man, I feel like, man, I didn't want to say a story as an example because John might have used it, but that one was better. Do you want me just to wrap it up and say who the winner is?
I'm curious what your story is now.
The story, I'm pretty sure I either told it on this one or an Unbearable podcast. It was the one where I made the garlic oil brownies.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
That was on Unbearable.
That was on Unbearable.
Enough said.
Oh no, Colin, you don't know the entirety of it.
I don't. Please indulge me.
I used to make brownies a lot and cakes just because it's what we had in the house. And I was making brownies and we had no regular oil, so I used this garlic-infused oil. Now, I've done this before with brownies, and I was always so hungry that it didn't really matter, and I would just power through it and eat it anyway. I'd just be like, it's not that bad. Well, John, this was the time when you and John were the guys with the suits.
Oh, yeah.
In East Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
So, one day when I was making these brownies and putting garlic oil in them and thinking that I was the only one who was going to eat the entire tray, John was out and Mom was going through a nostalgic phase. So our grandfather used to drink buttermilk all the time, like whiskey and buttermilk, or just plain buttermilk and shit.
Oh, weird.
So she bought like a jug of buttermilk. Just to drink it, and she had like maybe one glass, and she was like, "Yeah, this shit is disgusting." So
it is.
These brownies were sitting out on the counter. I went to bed. John comes home after a night of drinking and non-stop whatever the fuck you guys did, and not knowing what transpired throughout the entire day at home, he sees the brownies, and I hear from my bed, "Ooh!"
I did not go.
Oh no!
I did something decidedly more manly than that.
Sure thing.
Brownies.
And he grabs one of these brownies, and I hear him go, "Oh God!" And then I hear him opening the fridge and grabbing what he thinks is milk.
Oh no!
And chugging it down, and then running to this immediately after, like hear him horfing into the sink.
It was not a pleasant experience.
I guess a retribution for the okonomiyaki.
Oh Lord!
So James,
the winner, I would have to say, is John. That was a good story, wonderfully told. Runner-up would have to be Eric, though, with Linda.
Oh, Linda.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of next month is Feelsbury. This is the apparently we're trying it again. We're trying to do a holiday theme month, and this one is all about love or similar feels, romance, that sort of thing.
Well, if that's the case, if we're as close to horror as we were in October, we can certainly run the gamut.
I choose G.I. Joe.
I choose Nymphomaniac.
Yeah, I choose porn.
Actually, what I'm going to choose here is I know I went off about this earlier about doing something from this decade, but when it comes to romance, really got to stick with the classics. We are watching the 1995 Oscar winner for Best Picture, Marty.
Marty?
I don't even know.
How have I never heard of this?
I don't know, because this movie basically allowed plain actors to work in Hollywood. Do you guys want me to give you the synopsis just so that you know what it's like?
Yeah.
Or what it's about? Okay. Marty, 1955. Trapped by a smothering mother, middle-aged Marty's future looks bleak, but when this butcher meets a lonely teacher, suddenly everything is possible.
Did you say 1955?
I did.
Oh!
Yeah, because when you were describing it, you said 1990.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. No, 1955.
1955!
The Oscar winner of 1955.
Cool.
I think it's Best Picture. Yeah.
Cool.
That would certainly
better.
more explain why none of us have heard of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's 1955. Yeah, but Ernest Borgnine, Betsy Blair, Esther Mansanti, directed by Delbert Mann. And the reason, I mean, this was such a huge deal is that pretty much the entire cast is homely.
Huh.
So for 1955, you could imagine what a shakeup that was.
Yeah, because old Hollywood had some pretty beautiful people.
Next week, Marty.
Marty it is.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say, "Oh my God, this is not happening. We are not making Nazi jokes."